guys, Nick here from J4U Studios, and welcome back to the J4U podcast, episode 32. Just FYI, this is kind of, sort of, basically pre-recorded. So, yeah, it's because the J4U podcast we normally do, I'm going to take off the headphones because I don't need it right now. We normally do it every Saturday in the late afternoon. The VOD drops on Sunday, typically. But this time around, I'm actually going to be out of town over the weekend. Just checking out Northern Arizona, because if you do not see the J4U vlog where we talked about it, J4U Studios as a company will be moving out there sometime this year. So I'm just kind of helping make arrangements for that and figuring out my own living condition stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, how's your guys' week been overall?
It's been a week.
I'd say that's a good way to describe it, too. It's been a very strange week, at least for me.
Sounds like we all had extremely similar weeks.
Oh. Fair enough.
Alright, so a couple things to talk about before we jump into all this news that be happening. First thing is, last week, when normally the slot would be for, also tell us how audio is in the comments down below, that we can be checking for. But yeah, normally, the slot that takes up last week would have been, well, the Casual Crappy Cinema, but yes. Instead, we did the J4U Film Awards. So, Luke, do you want to do a quick little plug for that?
Yeah. So, the J4U Film Awards was a sort of Oscars/Golden Globes kind of style film award show that we did on this channel as, like, a live stream, and it was really fun, and the video is probably, like, as a full, like, posted video, not as a live stream on there at the moment. And it was a lot of fun. We had some really cool, fun moments, and then there's some weird moments that were also pretty fun, like that little coffee bit.
Yeah.
That was a thing that happened, and it was odd. But yeah, you should go check that out if you haven't seen it. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, 100% agree. Go check it out if you've not seen it yet. The other big thing that's happened since the last podcast is Super Bowl 52 happened. Yeah, Eagles versus the Patriots. I caught about half the game. Because I was A, working, and B, anytime commercials and trailers came on, I dipped. So I could do trailer reactions, which are coming out this weekend next, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you guys watch the game?
I watched a good chunk of it, about half of it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched none of it. I mostly just waited for a specific thing that we will talk about later, but you might know what that is.
Yeah. So, without further ado, the first thing in movies that we're going to be talking about today is Venom. So, a trailer for that dropped. In fact, I'm going to do something we haven't done, I don't think, in a podcast before, and I'm going to do a trailer reaction live.
Do it live?
Yeah, and that's totally not a cop-out, because I totally ran out of time prior to this podcast to see it, and I want to see it so we can talk about it. Totally not what this is at all.
It did come out a weird time, though.
I mean, yeah, it was literally, I was editing another trailer reaction, left from home, and, like, literally, as I arrived at the next place, I found out, oh, trailer dropped right after I left. Wow, great timing.
Well done.
Yeah, so here we go. Let me pull this up. There we go. Got a little dimension thingy there with...
Enter the void.
Alright, number 1 on trending, as Dylan pointed out earlier. Very excited, very curious.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, let's just kind of get into that. I'm actually also going to hit record, so I can upload this as a video after the fact, but yeah. Anyway, hey guys, Nick here from J4U Studios, and welcome back to another trailer reaction, kinda. We're doing the J4U podcast right now, actually. But it's both J4U podcast and a trailer reaction, but it's for Venom, which is a movie I'm insanely excited for. Like, stupidly excited for. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and watch this. Alright. Ooh. Well, that was interesting already. Okay. Nice subversion of expectations there. Okay. So this is based off the Agent Venom storyline, from what I can tell. So it looks like Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock has seen some shit, and that's why he was there. And it takes place in San Francisco. God, he's such a big person.
Maybe it's a break.
I'd be scared of him just as Eddie Brock. Like, Tom Hardy is a brick.
An accident.
Ooh. Okay.
Whatever it is. You used to be one thing. Now
Another?
you're something else.
I was hoping like he would have pupils, it would just be all black or something. Or all white would have been even cooler. Ooh!
We all have our own problems.
Hell yeah.
Our own
Okay.
issues.
What the fuck was that? Hello? Ooh, that's awesome. And you saw the little veinies?
Demons.
Ha ha ha! Ooh. That looks cool. Into a V. Nice touch. Interesting. That's... Oh, interesting. We got a lot to talk about there, yet at the same time, very little to talk about there. Well, hot damn. Okay. I'll see you here, Tom Hardy. Well then. Let me move the mic back.
Yeah, back into here.
Oh,
So we can
by the way, probably worth noting, since this is pre-recorded, we don't have our normal audio set up with the two mics, so we just got the Uno one.
No.
So yeah. Wow. Anyway, if you're watching the trailer reaction on YouTube, not the podcast, check out the podcast so you can hear our thoughts. By the time you see this, it will probably be on the Just for Studios channel or going to be in the next day or so. So make sure you check out the J4U podcast to hear our thoughts. And with that said, I'll see you guys on the next one. For those of you here on the podcast, you're all good. Okay. Wow, though. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, first thought is, for a movie called Venom, you saw absolutely no Venom.
Not even a bit. Well, I mean, like, symbiote slightly.
You
but
saw
yeah.
the symbiote. You saw his vein, like black veins on his neck. No Venom.
Yeah, it was sort of... It was venomless.
It has my attention? Question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it's kind of nice so that, like, a trailer for a big budget film sort of is kind of... As someone I know once said, not blowing its load.
Yeah,
in the
and
first trailer.
especially for, like, a Venom movie. Like, we haven't even seen what Venom looks like yet.
Yeah. So,
So,
we don't even know, like, what to think of from that
I mean,
end.
the effects do look really cool too.
I will say, was a little thrown off by the tables all spreading apart. What
Yeah.
was that about?
Tom Hardy is Carrie, too.
That didn't look like any symbiote stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've heard, the team behind it is trying to be very on it. Like, they want this to be a good comic accurate movie. They have made some changes though. Like, firstly, Eddie Brock, who we all know from the great movie Spider-Man 3, basically, reporter gets pissed off at Harry. I will say something Sam Raimi does right is sticks to the source material pretty well compared to other comic directors. But anyway, so reporter gets pissed at Harry. Harry basically gets him fired. At this point, Peter has... Did I say Harry? Peter gets him fired. He gets pissed at Peter.
Yeah.
Sorry. And at this time, Peter has the black suit and then realizes, oh no, this is bad. Eddie Brock goes to a church, prays, hey, kill Spider-Man or kill Peter Parker, one of the two.
Hey, Jesus, can you kill Spider-Man?
While
for
at the
me?
same time, on top of the chapel, Peter's saying nope to the black suit. It goes to Eddie, he becomes Venom. That's the traditional backstory for Eddie Brock's Venom. How they're doing it in this movie, though, is there's a character called Agent Venom in the comics, who is Flash Thompson, Peter Parker's old bully. And basically, Flash Thompson goes to war, loses both of his legs, and kind of in a Deadpoolish fashion, scientist guy says, I can help you get your legs back. And they do that via the symbiote.
Yeah.
So the symbiote acts as his bottom two legs, but he has the whole suit thing. And Agent Venom, the cool thing is a anti-hero, good guy-ish thing.
Oh.
He's not a Spider-Man villain. He's more...
Sort of does good, sort of does bad.
He's a military weapon, basically. So depending on what the military wants done, he can be a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So this movie is still Eddie Brock, but they're more so keeping the name Eddie Brock and making it the Flash Thompson Venom.
Yeah.
So Venom in this movie is supposed to be an anti-hero. And then the other storyline they're basing it off of is one where it's basically Venom versus a bunch of other symbiotes.
Ew, so a Venom brawl.
Yeah, which is why I'm still shocked that we saw absolutely no symbiotes aside from in a box.
Yeah, yeah. I guess
Keeping it a mystery.
Yeah, which is either a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find out. Venom's probably one of the movies I'm most excited for this year. So I really want it to be good.
Yeah.
I just wish they would show us what Venom looks like.
They got 8 months to go.
They're just kind of tickling the feet. They're not like going all the way. They're not going anywhere with it. Just we'll show it to you, but not yet.
Yeah. So the next thing that on the agenda, which technically isn't on the agenda, so I'm gonna add it right now, is Cloverfield Paradox.
That was a weird day for everyone.
Oh dear God, yes, it was. So Luke, do you want to explain the marketing for that?
None at all. Well, somewhat, but okay. So during Super Bowl Sunday, right? It was Sunday. Okay, so Super Bowl Sunday, during the commercial break, one of the ads was for a new Cloverfield film on Netflix, and it was like 30-second sort of thing. Is like a little teaser, not really much of anything, and said being released right after the game, and so everyone kind of shat their pants and was like, wait, what? That's amazing, and also, can I watch it like right now?
Yes, you can, basically.
And they can. And it just sort of culminated, and from what people probably know about like the critical reaction, emotions kind of changed really quickly on that.
Yeah.
Sort of a
that day was a roller coaster for emotions.
Yes, it was. There was a massive high, and then followed by a kind of plateau, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a huge Cloverfield fan. For those of you who don't know, because the marketing every single time is just more crazy than the last.
It's just more insanity of like, yeah, let's do this. This sounds like it won't possibly end up bad, and most of the time, yeah, it doesn't actually end up bad.
And I mean, like the first film that came out in 2008 was Clovey the Giant Monster. The marketing campaign, because the internet was fairly young back in 2008.
2008, yeah.
But the crazy thing is they had this insane internet marketing campaign where basically one of the fake companies in the film had its own website, and you kind of learned the lore of that movie by just going down this rabbit hole ARG.
Yeah.
That was insane, especially for 2008. Like,
2008,
that wasn't a thing back then. The internet was still reasonably young. Like,
yeah, for the most part, yeah. It was sort of kind of bit primitive in today's terms. So
yeah, like YouTube was what, 3 years old?
Wasn't
YouTube 2005?
Yeah, it was 2005.
So YouTube was 3 years old.
He was still a baby.
Yeah, like, so when YouTube was in its literally toddler years, Cloverfield had one of the most, even to date, one of the most insane marketing campaigns ever via the internet.
Yeah.
Then 10 Cloverfield Lane was announced. And the first trailer came out, like, what, 3 months before the movie?
No, I think it was like a month before the movie
came
out.
Yeah, like a month before the movie, which is insane. And then they launched another crazy ARG.
Yeah, you showed me that one too.
Yeah, like, it was insane. And then this film, it had an ARG. It was probably the most dormant of all the other ones. But the insane part about their marketing is they literally teased it the day it came out.
Yeah, it was like, coming out today, so watch that now.
Yeah. But getting away from the marketing portion of it, my actual thoughts on the movie, I have mixed feelings. I thought it was meh. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst, is the way I look at it.
Fair enough, yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on the previous Cloverfield film?
So,
films?
The 2008 one, granted I haven't seen it in a little bit, but I personally feel it's kind of one of my guilty pleasure movies of, I just like to watch it as an interesting found footage monster movie.
Yeah.
Luke, I know you have slightly different opinions on that.
I personally don't like it, but I think there's lots of great aspects. Like, I kind of like how it's sort of almost a disaster monster film from the sort of ground view perspective and never from like the high up aspects.
Yeah,
for the
and you
most
never
part.
like see the scopes. The only point of view you get is the camera guys.
Yeah, and it makes some moments like even better. Like basically the moment where the what was it? There was like some sort of explosion, and you sort of like they had to like run into the shops, and you kind of felt that atmosphere there.
Mhm.
And I love moments like that. Moments I don't like is when you have to hear like T.J. Miller just spouting a lot of annoying stuff for like 5 minutes, and it's like, all right, but when are we actually going to get into the actual story?
I saw an article that was, or not an article, it was a video that was great, and they talked about like that was T.J. Miller before he was T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
Like, that was pre-comedian actor T.J. Miller. That was, like, his attempt at almost more of a drama.
Yeah.
Which is so, like, hearing his voice now is, like, you're a comedic actor. I'm not hearing the joke in this. But, like, in 2008, he was like, who's this guy?
Yeah,
like,
who's this random surfer dude sounding person?
Yeah, anyway. And then 10 Cloverfield Lane, I absolutely love. I thought it was great, both in the marketing and in delivery. I think it held up. The end was a little funky, in my opinion. And then especially where it sits compared to the other film is just bizarre. But, yeah, overall, I really like 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I also really liked the 10 Cloverfield Lane. I liked sort of kind of the contained aspect of it. And while I was sort of meh on the ending, I liked the fact that it kind of made it, at first glance, now with the new Cloverfield, kind of changed that. I was thinking, oh, this is more of like an anthology film series.
Which I think
like,
would have been awesome.
Would have been great. It was like the film equivalent of like Twilight Zone or something.
Yeah, which I feel that's their biggest problem now. Is they're in such a weird point where is it an anthology, is it sequel based? They can't decide. I feel it's a problem.
Yeah.
They're trying to play in the middle to keep you guessing, but at the same time, they're at the same time trying to stay neutral. They're just dividing it even more and saying none of the above. They don't know what they are.
Yeah,
they can't decide.
Yeah, I feel like it should have been an easy choice, like considering both films were very well received, but don't really have any correlation with each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and you can't have it both ways. Both ways, I feel like you got to decide: is the sequel based? Does what happens in one film affect the other, or are they totally separate entities? Like that should be question number one when you're writing your treatment or the screenplay. Like,
yeah, it's just sort of like it should not be that hard, guys.
I will say probably the reason why it's so confusing is because aside from the first one, they've all been other movies that J.J. Abrams has slapped the Cloverfield name on.
Yeah.
So maybe that is part of it. That in the fact that like
Maybe.
10 Cloverfield Lane wasn't supposed to be a Cloverfield movie, so maybe that's why it's so disconnected, and the fact that Paradox was supposed to be God Particle and was supposed to be very unrelated.
Yeah.
Well, it was weird. From what I've heard, there were two versions of the script. One where it was dead on, like a sequel that explains everything about the 2008 movie.
Yeah.
And then one where it was very removed, and this is kind of their compromise.
Yeah, it was sort of like, let's make it both, and so it's
But I feel like you gotta go one or the other on that.
Yeah, like, go one way or the other, not like the middle of two.
Yeah, like I'm all for compromise, but this is a situation where it just causes confusion that's unnecessary.
Yeah. Did you see the previous Cloverfield films? No.
You gotta check them out.
Alright, so it's a bit of a strange ordeal, is in a nutshell. What
Yeah, and I will say, probably my last thoughts on Paradox is, it set out, I feel like, to be the movie that answers a lot of the people's questions, but at the same time, I feel like it asks more questions than it answers.
Yeah, I get that feeling, sort of.
Like, I had some theories about timeline, or if it was a timeline, if I had some theories on how it could be if it was anthology, then that's a given, but now I have not a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, it has me more confused than before I watched it.
Fair enough, yeah. For me, like, I'd say of the three Cloverfield films, this is probably in the middle for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good amount of fun with it, though, mainly because it does have a connection to the original film, but it's not really all that much, and so I was able to actually enjoy it as it is, because I wasn't particularly invested in the first film.
You weren't sad there wasn't a T.J. Miller cameo?
I mean, considering, like, current situations, not really surprised. But, I really liked I actually really enjoyed the cast in the film. Like, they were all fun. I especially loved, I can't remember his name, but he was sort of the Irish character who always had some kind of, like, fun little quips there.
Yeah.
And he was fun. And also just, I think, like, from a production design standpoint, it was really fun, even though it was kind of just Alien.
I was gonna say, it felt very much so like Alien.
Yeah, like, it didn't have an alien monster show up besides, like, on Earth, but, like...
Which I had mixed feelings about. I like it in the fact that it's a change, but at the same time, it kind of made some of the storytelling aspects sloppy.
Yeah, like, that's one thing I could definitely say is this story is... Like, I really enjoyed the film, but the story is kind of a mess.
It was more so they were doing things for the sake of doing them, as opposed to where if there was an alien, it could be, you could say they're trying to survive or keep the alien at bay. This time they're just like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know, try this.
Yeah, also there's, like, a subplot with, like, possibly starting a war with Russia that goes completely nowhere, and it was just like, cool, yeah, just, okay. That's the thing that happened that didn't go anywhere, so yeah.
Yeah.
But
and
it's fun. I like it.
Also, we have another Cloverfield movie coming out this year, right?
Yeah, because they already made it.
Yeah, like, that makes Paradox a total afterthought, I feel, right? Like...
Yeah, like, kind of. Yeah. Maybe the next one is going to be God Particle or something.
That was one of the series I had. From what they have revealed, or what some people have dug up, it seems like it's set in 1945. And I forget, I heard something about the pitch, like, I think I found the log line somewhere for the movie, but it was something along the lines of, they took an actual history event that has been very much so, like, not many people know what actually happened there.
Yeah.
So they're going to try and weave it into the Cloverfield
so, like,
narrative.
alternate history sort of thing.
Yeah, although who knows at this point? Maybe it's alternate history, maybe it's another dimension, maybe it's what?
This is sounding like the plot of Twin Peaks.
Maybe it's 1945 where Hitler wins the World War II. Like, the World War II, you know?
So they make Wolfenstein.
Yeah, like, who knows at this point where they're going with the franchise? Because I sure as hell don't.
Neither do I. I don't really know.
Okay, so next on the agenda, we have Deadpool 2, which I was going to have a trailer reaction for. Unfortunately, however, near the end of recording that video, I looked at OBS and realized I never hit record.
Oh yeah, I saw that tweet. Oh yeah, that's...
Fortunately, that video
embarrassing.
probably only would have been 4 minutes, I'm gonna be honest. Because when I looked over at OBS, I was looking over to see, I don't have a video, do I? This is way too short. Because literally all the reaction was me watching the trailer, giggling like a schoolgirl, and then going, I got nothing to say. Because I can't do my frame-by-frame analysis bit when all they're doing is like, here's an action figure, fight! Like, what am I gonna freeze frame on and say, well, I bet in the movie it's gonna happen like this. Like, I can't do that.
You can't become George
Pay
Lucas.
attention to the angles.
Yeah.
The angle.
If you notice, Deadpool has a sombrero. Is this a nod to a comic book Easter egg, or will he indeed have a sombrero in the movie?
Find out if the significance of the sombrero will be unveiled in the next trailer.
There's nothing for me to talk about.
Yeah, like, it's just it's like a little skit, basically, kind of. It's just,
yeah.
That's fun. And
which was amazing.
It's just to excite people.
Yeah, and one of the things that I did say in my trailer reaction, so I'll say it now, was that I really hope that that's a bit in the movie, like to where Cable and Deadpool are about to fight, and then you hear the director yell, "Cut!" And Deadpool's like, "What? Why?" And he's like, "We don't have the budget for you guys to do the fight. We have the script." And he's like, "I'll take care of
directors."
it." And then we had to switch director. We've cost too much money in the time delay.
Yeah.
And Deadpool's like, "I got this." And then you see the two action figures fight. And then at the end of the fight, you hear the director yell, "Action!" And it's the actors in that place where the action figures ended in the real set.
That'd be great.
That's what I want to happen.
Like a jump cut of like a basically frame perfect transition.
Like the same exact shot, just with the real actors in real set. Then.
Yeah,
like Cable's against a wall, like legs spread like the action figure or something. Like
yeah.
That's what I want to happen.
I hope.
That's the one takeaway I have from that trailer.
Yeah. That would be kind of... I feel like that'd be a fun visual gag if they did do something like that.
Because I will say, in the Deadpool video game, that was something they constantly did, is the gag of Deadpool getting a phone call, and it's the studio High Moons who made the game saying, look, we don't have the budget for this level, and then it goes to like a 2D like
like in Sprite version.
Yeah, like almost Pac-Man-esque of Deadpool going chomp 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 chomp, and all the enemies look like ghosts.
Yeah,
kind of a thing.
That'd be great.
I'd love for the movies to do more stuff like that.
That'd be, yeah. Kind of having like fun with like limitations can be like pretty fun.
Because what other superhero movie is gonna do that?
Fair enough.
None of them. So you might as well take advantage of things like that.
Yeah, just that sort of like comedy style. Because like most other superhero films are sort of like based like the comedy's kind of like little quips or something like that, whereas this is sort of comedy on all levels.
Yeah. So next thing we have to talk about is Avengers Infinity War. There was a 30-second TV spot, and it was mainly just visuals. I don't think there's a lot to say on that.
There's not. I mean, it's curious because we saw things that we hadn't seen, and
yeah, and
that's about it.
The main difference I noticed is you see Spider-Man in the red and blue costume. So my theory, and I mentioned this in the trailer reaction, so I'll just kind of get through it quickly, is that shot of him on the bus, hair stand up, Spidey sense. He looks out the window, sees Thanos' space frisbee
Halo.
landing in New York, basically from Halo, the ring. Then I'm guessing from there, he puts on his normal red and blue costume going, hey, it's New York, I gotta do this, it's my city, yo. And then just tries to Spider-Man his way, and then doesn't realize that it's Thanos, gets his ass kicked. Then that's when Iron Man and Doctor Strange show up and give him the Iron Spider suit, and then we get the real fight that we saw in the first trailer.
Yeah, like that little segment there.
So that's my theory on that, but otherwise I feel that TV spot was, this is something, here's the visuals, it's new, and that was 30 seconds.
Here is a bunch of things.
And of course, no matter how short it is, it's always going to excite people, and it's just getting closer and closer. So
yeah.
How far away are we now? Like from it?
3 months.
Because it's May, right?
Yeah, early May.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's always like in that area.
Yeah, and we might do this for a Let's Talk movie, but you and me were having a really interesting discussion, and Marco Raphael today, about the Marvel movies. So we might save that for a later Let's Talk movies. So be aware. We'll probably do that pre-Infinity War to give our thoughts.
Yeah. But I think that could be a whole thing in itself.
Yeah, so we'll save that for another time.
We're not gonna talk about that now.
So the next thing is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. They had a trailer number dos. And what did you guys think of it first?
Oh, I actually haven't seen that.
Oh, really?
I can say like what my thoughts on like what I've seen by this point is. It looks like fun. The thing is, I'm starting to kind of feel like the Jurassic Park franchise is starting to kind of repeat itself.
It's getting a little Transformers, Fast and the Furious.
It's just it's like dragging on. It's like basically keeping it alive just to have the name still be alive.
Yeah.
Like this is what seems like the third time like it's our idea for a Jurassic Park has failed miserably. Now there's dinosaurs rampant all over the area, and we gotta find someone who's lost on there.
Yeah. So have you seen the trailer?
Yeah.
Okay. So Luke, to summarize, basically do you see the first trailer for Jurassic World?
Yes, I did see that one.
So basically, in this trailer it says, what we showed in that first trailer is like the first 30 minutes of the film.
Oh.
That's not what the film is actually about.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, first off, bold.
All right. Yeah. It's
okay. So
strange.
Why have it
first trailer?
And why have it in the movie? Like, why show us that and like convince people that think that what's the movie's about, but it has nothing to do with it.
Like, Jurassic World Island exploding is the first 30 minutes. What? Okay.
And what's the actual?
Yeah.
So,
like no.
So what it seems like the rest of the movie is about is it's pulling a lost world on us, and the surviving dinosaurs from the exploding island are coming to the mainland.
Oh, so I'm even more right now saying this is repeating itself.
And there's a new Indominus Rex, which I love the logic behind this, is about human-sized. I love the idea that, the problem with Indominus Rex, the reason he killed so many people is because he was too tall. Let's just, all the anger, let's just squeeze it down a little bit.
You know what? Do you know what other franchise did that? Alien. And then it didn't have, like, a movie for, like, 20 years.
But like, so you get like an 8-foot tall Indominus Rex, basically.
Cool.
Which there are some surprisingly good visuals associated with it.
Fair enough.
I don't know if you've seen the picture of the girl in bed and there's just the arm reaching out.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. I saw like a screenshot of that.
It feels very horror movie-ish.
Yeah.
I'd be cool if they went like, fuck the action movie route. We're gonna turn this into more of like a more horror movie with dinosaurs. That could be interesting.
Yeah, like the Jurassic Park has seemed to always have like a tiny bit of horror in it. But
Yes.
It always kind of stops a little bit because it's more like, you know, this is more like family appropriate sort of stuff, even though like people are getting maimed. But
yeah.
like
the first 3 were brutal in moments.
yeah.
Like you saw pterodactyls like ripping limbs off people. Type brutal.
Yeah. And yeah. PG-13.
I'd love to see World do stuff like that.
Yeah, like maybe go like the extra mile a little bit. Maybe.
Because like they made dinosaurs terrifying.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like they basically made what. Well, I mean, like Spielberg also directed the first one, so I was gonna say what Jaws did for like sharks in the ocean, and so now it's like I'm terrified of dinosaurs, even though they don't exist in. Yeah.
So I hope they do a return to form on kind of that idea.
Yeah.
Because this trailer shows potential for that, but we have to wait and see.
Yeah. It's starting to seem like it's also kind of falling more into like goofy science stuff, whereas like I mean they always have, but like never to like a let's make a humanoid a like.
I mean, Indominus just kind of broke all that by like, let's make our own dinosaur in this pot.
Yeah, it's like melting pot of elements, and then make like a dinosaur.
And then in this one, like, let's take out the sides portion of that. There we go. 8-foot tall Indominus. Perfect.
What makes it special that it's human sized? It's just gonna be like, alright, it can be killed easier, maybe? I don't know, like.
Or it's smaller so it can juke easier.
Well, and since it's bigger, or now it's smaller, so now all that aggression that was in the big one is pushed into even smaller.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if the Hulk was baby Groot size?
Oh my god. Maybe that's the thing, like, maybe it's... What if, like, it's human size, but, like, it still has the power of a dinosaur, which... I mean, I feel like that's what they would be going for, honestly.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
No, I love the idea of it just bites, like, part of a car, and you just see the car go...
It's like a delay. It looks like it's lagging, but it's just... It's like a 3-second delay, and then it just crushes.
It's like the kind of thing where you see a train, and it just bites the end of the train, and it stops the whole thing. It's like...
It's like playing on Gmod.
That would be great. Like
I feel like
Ant-Man logic, basically.
Yeah, I feel like that would happen, and honestly, it would make me kind of want to see the movie because that sounds kind of hilarious. Just like, I'm gonna take a bite out of this tree, and like it just falls over, breaks the house.
Imagine a velociraptor with the strengths of a T-Rex, basically.
Yeah.
So just jumps on a bus, and just with the little body, just the whole thing crashes.
Yeah, just like jumps on top of it and then it just like breaks under its weight.
You see just a giant footprint where it's like Littlefoot is. Oh, that could be so great.
Oh, I hope they do that. That'd be funny.
Or like it's so small, but it has like the the hitbox of a full one.
So it's like a plane is flying by. And it looks like it's flying in the sky, and it just hits his hitbox, and it like falls over.
Yeah.
Or like you shoot 10 feet above it, and it goes, ow. That could be so great.
I'd watch that then if that was the case.
Why aren't video game movies like that? Oh my god, could you imagine? If Jumanji did that, funky hitboxes, like they had to make a jump, and he's like, I so landed on it. Nope, sorry, your hitbox is a circle actually.
No, and like
they can't land on anything.
Like someone hits them like 3 feet away, but they still get like damaged. Like,
oh, sorry, this object's hitbox is all the way over here. This is just an illusion.
Yeah.
If you make another Jumanji movie, please add that in.
Yeah, if it's still based on like video games aspect, do that. That'd be fun.
Oh my god, they could do so much still with video games. Like,
why can't it go through here? Oh, sorry, invisible wall. You can't go there.
Or this room hasn't been unlocked yet, but there's just a lot of fog. I mean, sorry, you haven't unlocked it yet.
Yeah, you gotta get some more coins. Sorry.
You have to be level 23. Like Destiny logic. Why can't I use this gun? The trigger's not working. Sorry, you gotta be level 10 to use it. I mean, you're only a level 8. You mean I can't pull the trigger? That's right.
Yep. Sorry, you can't do that.
Okay. Now that we've gone off on that stupid tangent.
A fun tangent, though.
Solo is the final movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Solo, a Star Wars movie, or Star Wars story. Why don't you guys share your thoughts first?
Well, I've already talked to you about it, so...
Yeah.
So, then I guess... Well, to be honest, my expectations before the trailer came out were basically, like, this is probably going to be a massive mess considering the production behind it. Which is, like... I mean, I feel like most people probably know about it by now, but essentially, like, directors changing, different edits, having to reshoot, a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
And yet, saying that, this movie looks like a lot of fun. I don't know. It looks like really enjoyable, and I really like a lot of the cast, especially who they got for Lando.
Donald Glover, baby.
Donald Glover, yeah. Childish Gambino.
I love the idea of them walking into, like, that golden casino thing you see in the trailer.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you just
that.
hear... And then there's just Lando sitting there like, hey!
No, like, Han's like, where the fuck is Lando? And he sees him, starts to sing. That'd be actually really fun. But yeah, like, I can't remember who, like, the name of the guy that's playing Han, but he seems like really good casting, actually. And, it's like Alden Rish or something like that.
He has a really funky name.
Yeah. I only remember him as, like, the cowboy character from Hail Caesar, and that's it.
Yeah, well, speaking of someone who looks like a cowboy character, Woody Harrelson's in this movie.
That was weird. I was sort of like...
That caught me off guard.
Yeah, that was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. This is a Star Wars movie. Planet of the Apes is over there.
And 3 Billboards is over there. Pick one of those. Get out of here.
Yeah. Dylan, I'll share my thoughts and you can tag on to that. So, yes, there was a huge pre-production, basically, mishap, or not pre-production, but production mishap with this film behind the scenes. And my personal opinions, it has me extremely worried.
Yeah.
And I think my main thing is, I'm not totally on board with who they got for Han.
Fair enough.
Which, to be fair, they could have literally pulled Harrison Ford from 30 years ago, and I still might not be on board with it.
Yeah.
Because I think the same problem with it is, Han is such an iconic character in terms of, like, the history of cinema as a whole.
Yeah.
So to have, and, like, the way he talks in both delivery and writing is extremely specific.
Yeah. It's almost like kind of his own style of character was made from him.
Yeah, and I just wasn't getting the Han vibe.
Fair enough. But then again, he only had, like, 2 lines in the trailer. Like,
yeah. But, like, the delivery, felt off, and the way they wrote it felt off to me, like...
I guess.
Again, like, it's the little things that caught me off.
Little bits.
Because, like, even going back to Empire Strikes Back, let's say, because Han never says, I love you. Yeah. So it'd be like, in this movie, he sees someone and goes, hey, I love you, and it's like, no, he wouldn't say that kind of a thing. It's like the very little character quirks.
Yeah, like, things that seem to kind of go against his personality. But, well... Maybe when we see the film, maybe we'll see something like that, where it's like, now we can see why he's like that in the original films. Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm trying not to give them that excuse until I see the film.
Yeah,
because otherwise that could be lazy writing, because I've seen people defend it of, well, he's not grizzled yet. He's still, like, the upbeat, happy person.
He's
I'm
still
like,
a baby boy.
Or it's lazy writing. Like, you
That's
gotta see
enough,
the movie, because if he still doesn't end at that point, it just shows they didn't give a fuck and they're just trying to make some money.
Yeah, like they didn't think about, like, alright, so we're gonna have him be not as Han Solo-esque, so we gotta find a way to get him to that point, and then they write the script like, oh shit, wait, we didn't do that yet.
Or it's like they saw clips from one of the Star Wars movies, like, oh, I could write for that character, sure.
Yeah, he's snarky, he shoots people, and he likes to fly ships.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That line kind of bugged me a little bit. I don't know why.
Which one?
His pilot monologue.
Oh yeah, the pilot monologue. Like, I'll want to be the best in the galaxy, or whatever.
Like, something about that didn't feel right. And I have not a clue what.
Yeah,
So maybe it's just my own biases. But
maybe.
I was watching it, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Because, like, everything except for, like, the shots that I absolutely loved, was the Star Destroyer coming through that cloud.
Oh, and like the
Oh
lightning.
my god, that looked beautiful.
Also, I love the one where it's like super foggy and it kind of pans down to like Han just like looking up at the Millennium Falcon.
I saw a comment saying, "Well, I thought I was watching a trailer for Star Wars, not Blade Runner."
Yes. It's actually, do you know what's funny about that?
Hmm.
The cinematographer for this movie made like the film that the guy who made Blade Runner like recently, his film
I
Arrival.
was gonna say, cinematography looks pretty good, I feel.
Yeah.
There were a lot of shots where I went, that looks great. That looks beautiful. Like, again, the Star Destroyer coming through the cloud thing, I want that to be my wallpaper, honestly.
Yeah. Also, so I'm actually really excited because the guy did a sci-fi film. The last film they did was sci-fi, which was Arrival.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that gets me kind of excited because that was sort of medium budget sci-fi. Now it's like super
Massive
big budget.
budget.
Yeah, like blockbuster sized.
But yeah, the other thing I want to question here is the villain or villains?
Villain.
Not a clue. Mr. Samurai Mask Dude.
Samurai Mask Dude?
Like, who looked like he had armor that was from different ships and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. I only saw like small like glimpses of him in the trailer.
He has me lost. Like, if I was writing the script for this film, I would have picked one of the bounty hunters from Empire.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, doesn't have to be Boba Fett, just like any of those bounty hunters in the line. But like, I have not a clue who this guy is. If he's in previous canon stuff, like, they might have have just made a mishmash of different things and said this is the villain. Because like, I would have believed it just as much. Like, I have not a clue what this guy's all about. So I'm very interested. Like, is he Empire? Is he a third party? Is he what? Like,
yeah, is he what does he represent? And
yeah,
I guess I didn't even realize he was like probably the villain. He just
yeah,
seemed
like
a.
And I'm pretty sure in the TV spot for Superbowl, you see him and Han fight. I'm pretty sure it's Han. I couldn't tell. It's either Han or Woody Harrelson's character.
Yeah, one of those two.
And like, he has this double-bladed electro rod, like from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, like not lightsaber, but like a.
And I was like, okay, is this supposed to be Darth Maul? Like the way he was
Yeah.
fighting on that train. I'm like, this villain has me totally stumped.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe he's just kind of like a generic kind of like Randy.
Yet at the same time, that's kind of what I'm worried about them doing. I'd prefer them to do something more meaningful. Like, could you imagine if they turned this into a Han Solo / like Boba Fett movie?
Oh yeah.
And they actually gave Boba Fett a story for once?
Yeah. Well, I meant more like maybe this character is just sort of like a ploy for the actual villain. Like maybe he's just
That's
sort of
very true, which could be cool.
because like he does seem sort of like generic in design of just sort of things piled on top of each other and doesn't really seem to have much of a personality from that look. Is just sort of junk man.
Which I'd love to see a compelling villain for this movie.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be pretty fun.
You need to head out?
In a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's move on to gaming here. First big thing. Sorry, I have a weird cough. You guys have probably noticed by now, but so first thing we have to talk about is Monster Hunter World, which dropped fairly recently. Have you guys heard of this game?
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
I know about it.
It wasn't on my radar until I went to like a party, and literally there were 3 Xboxes and everybody was playing Monster Hunter World. I was like, okay, this is
Awesome.
a thing. And like,
aside from it having a little bit of a rough launch with the multiplayer being broken, other than that, it couldn't have gone any better.
well, and the other weird thing is it's not coming out on PC for another 8 months,
Yeah.
which
Wow.
is crazy.
That's
like,
yeah.
normally it's kind of more. I guess Destiny did that as well, but it's still like so bizarre that you hold a PC launch that far.
Yeah, that long.
Monster Hunter World, for those of you who don't know, think Skyrim, but instead of like doing all these dungeon things, you're fighting monsters, like T-Rex looking monsters.
Yeah.
Think of like Skyrim and Horizon Zero Dawn put
Yeah.
together, basically.
Actually, speaking of giant monsters, that reminds me of a game I do want to talk about later on once we get a chance. That's kind of connected with the theme of giant monsters.
Interesting.
But yeah, like we'll talk about this first.
But do you guys have any other notes for Monster Hunter World?
I've
It
looked
looks
at
really good.
Yeah, I saw a lot of footage of it. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm not like a big RPG person, but it does look a bit more free and kind of open in that sense because like I don't like RPGs in the sense that they're kind of like very wooden, I guess, in like gameplay style. Whereas this one seems like a lot more fluid and.
Yeah, my thing with RPGs is sometimes they can get repetitive, but with all the crazy monster designs, like, I think it seems like a game you can get a lot of playability out of.
Yeah, like a lot of like, oh, look at that monster, and then you like play it for
spend 6 hours trying to beat it, and then like, good thing I never have to do that again, and can move on to like the next monster.
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe you're playing it for like an excessive amount of time, and then at some point you see something you never seen before, like, holy shit, what is that?
Yeah. And I don't think they're doing this, but I'd love for maybe in the next Monster Hunter video game for them to pull a, what's the game called? Space. Didn't go over very well.
Oh, No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. I would love if they went No Man's Sky. Could you imagine if they had, like, no monster's gonna be the same?
Yeah,
like, hundreds of monsters and they're all, like, different combinations of things?
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
I will say there's a lot of charm in the fact that they don't have that many monsters and they're all very specifically designed. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But I'd also like that variety. And could you imagine having a monster that you're fighting and nobody else is fighting that monster?
Yeah, like you're just like seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, and like,
oh man.
Someone else could play the game and never fight that same monster that you just fought.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
That'd be pretty fun. It's like new design on each kind of round.
Yeah, and have it be just kind of randomly generated almost.
Yeah. If someone who can make a very good game get on that'd be cool.
Alright, so the final game, and then Luke, you can add yours in after the fact, is Sea of Thieves had their beta. The game officially comes out in March, but they had a, I think, almost 1 week beta, I want to say, on it.
That was rough, too.
It was rough, but the game's premise looks like it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good group game. I think solo it could get boring, but if you had like a solid group, I think that game could be fantastic.
Yeah. I've seen some little bits of it, and it seems like it's kind of it's sort of like the Assassin's Creed for sort of kind of.
Oh, in a much more cartoony version.
Yeah, and more like accessible for like multiplayer.
Yeah, and almost more Gmod-esque in terms of like. You can dance, you can have that accordion thing.
Just like stupid
you
shit.
can do different emotes, like...
Yeah, just like kinds of like weird stuff you can just randomly do.
My worry about the game is playability, honestly. I want to make sure, I want them to add a lot of stuff to do, because I could see it getting very boring of, alright, me and my crew, let's go to this island and find a treasure. Great, we did it. Okay, let's cash it in. Awesome. Now let's go to this island and get the treasure.
Yeah.
Great, let's take it back. And then after a while, that's going to get repetitive.
Yeah, I agree with there. And the only thing is I don't know if it's going to be $60 or not.
Oh.
I heard it was 40.
I heard it, yeah.
I heard 40, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But even at 40, I don't know if there's...
I'd probably go 30. 40 is a little bit of a stretch for me, unless they add a lot more playability stuff.
Yeah. Just like have more to it.
As of right now, it seems like if you have had a solid group, you guys could have a lot of fun in it. It's just for how long is my question. So if they add more to do, then yes, by all means, buy it. I think it'll be fantastic.
Yeah. It seems like a fun time, at least for the first like go around. I don't know like how much it'll be after like like a week or so, but like it seems at the moment like it'd be a fun venture.
Yeah. So now going into Elon Musk news, more or less, in our What in the World
should
segment.
I discuss the
game?
Yes,
actually do yours first.
I should just... This will probably be pretty quick. It's a remaster of a game. Actually, probably one of my favorite games recently. And it ties in pretty well with the theme of, like, monsters and, like, big monsters. Because it's a HD remake of Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't have the ability to buy it because I don't have the console. But that made me super, super hyped. Because that's one of my favorite games, and it looks beautiful, like even better than how it did originally. And I'm really, really excited to see like what some footage of it looks like. I heard it's a little glitchy though, like in some areas. Like I saw a video where in the game you basically have to kind of like climb up on monsters to find their weak spots, and someone found a glitch where if you are on this one monster's leg as it tries to shake you off, it basically like pings you up into the sky, and then you fall to your death. And it was just like, man, you got basically punted. And besides like the little glitches here and there, it looks like it's actually pretty stable. One thing I am kind of worried about is they remade the score for the game,
Oh.
and that has me worried because, like, I'm not one of those people to say, like, oh, something is perfect, but, like, basically that did not need to be remade whatsoever. It was pretty much flawless in every aspect.
Yeah, scores are one thing that I never thought you should remake.
No,
Than
yeah.
remake.
It didn't need
Or
anything.
remaster.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you're upping the sound quality, because when it was recorded in a kind of crappy setup.
Yeah.
But, like, why change the notes and all that? Like,
Yeah,
the
or-
accompaniment.
Yeah, like the instruments or anything like that. I haven't listened to the change in score, but I just, like, it has me paranoid because, again, like, when you have something of that high of quality and, like, that, like,
Yeah.
regarded of, like, just pinnacle of music, you sort of wonder why should you remake it, and if you do, does it really add anything to it?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's honestly, like, even though I would probably buy this game, that's honestly kind of like a down, like a something that's kind of an off-putting thing for me to buying the game, because, like, it's a little tiny aspect, but it matters, I'd say.
Yeah, I get that.
It's strange, but I'm still excited for it. It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Alright, so now into One in the World. The majority of what we have to talk about is Elon Musk news, because that guy is basically our world's Tony Stark.
Basically, yeah. I've heard a little bit about this. I haven't heard the full thing.
Yeah, so the first thing to talk about actually happened this week, and that involves SpaceX. So they basically... Dylan, do you know more about this than I do, or...?
Well, they launched the Falcon Heavy, which is 2.5 times more powerful than any rocket that we've ever sent into space. And it had, I'd say, a 95% success rate of the launch, as far as the only issue that happened was the landing of one of the main rockets. But other than that, it's up in space and
Has Tesla
Roadster.
playing David Bowie music.
Yep.
Really? Huh.
Mhm.
Cool. It's like specifically David Bowie music.
It's the song, what's it called?
What is it?
To ground
Oh, Space
control.
Oddity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
so
That's a
crazy,
strange...
but it's a pretty big advancement for space travel.
Oh, by far, yeah.
Yeah, we are in the future. This is the future.
Well, that's crazy, but it's true. Like, think about the Alexa. Like, that you can go to your house and say, Alexa, turn on the lights, and then just boom.
It's like, okay, yeah. It's
we
like...
really are in the future.
Yeah, like those little stories from maybe like 1980s or 70s have now basically become reality for the most part.
When
Not
do you
flying
think-
cars.
When do you think the Jetsons is just gonna become a normal sitcom?
like, just like reality. It's like, some point, it'll
Like-
be like a bit more updated.
I feel
in
like
other
we're
aspects.
closer than we think we are to that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
add a robot maid and
Yeah.
taller buildings and ta-da.
And then in 15 years, it'll be racist for having a robot maid.
See, that's the crazy thing, though. Like,
I like to think that's what would happen.
well, what I think, like, when robots get to the point where they can make decisions, what will stop them from saying that they want, like, to vote or
Yeah.
they want equal rights?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, you know, it's like...
is Terminator gonna be racist one day?
Probably, yeah. Actually, now that I think about it. Well, probably, yeah, still, like, I was trying to think of also in the context of the second film, but yeah, probably still.
Yeah, I mean, could you think of, like, if there was a movie made, like, way back when of an African American just slaughtering white people? Like,
Yeah, that was sort of like, that's what, like, now it's that with robots. And it's
Yeah,
sort of
like,
God, okay.
if we ever get to that point where a robot does not need a person typing in, like, what it should do and how it should react, and when it can think consciously, what defines a person then?
Yeah.
Basically, fuck all, actually, by that point. Yeah, sort of
Like-
just, like, there's robots, there's people, none of it really matters at that point. You can both, like, have morals and ways of thinking.
Like, I think that's crazy to think about, that one day, and who knows, maybe it won't be a reality, but that
I kind of hope
could.
not. I hope it doesn't happen.
Could you imagine, like, robot Martin Luther King Jr., like...
That'd be like an interesting day, honestly. Like, I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Or a robot quoting Gandhi in terms of equal rights or something, like, things like that, like...
Yeah, like, the robot... the robot, Federation.
like, yeah, I think things like that are gonna be crazy. Then, like, are we gonna have to pay robots a salary and things like it gets so wishy-washy there.
It's like, it's happening again, God, no.
We made you to make our life easier, not harder, damn it.
we made you so that we could disrespect you, God damn it. Why'd you have to think? God damn.
Oh god, and I'm thinking of the parallels now. Like, we brought you over from Africa to work for, like, there's, it's the parallels are like.
Yeah, that's like what I mean. That's what it would be like if robots could have like that sort of conscience. It's like, oh no, God, that's
that racist person. Don't try and plug that into me. I don't give consent. Like, there's so many crazy things.
Yeah, like it's just like a. Yeah, it's just. Well, I mean, history repeats itself.
Exactly. Like, that's the craziest part. Like, what's gonna be a racial slur to a robot? Like,
fucking toaster.
Yeah, like toaster. Like, what? Am I gonna get demonetized 20 years from now for saying that? Like,
maybe you'll get demonetized for saying fucking, but not toaster.
Again, though, if like robots gain consciousness, like he said our equivalent of the N-word. Like, what's?
I mean, robots will basically be the demonetization system.
See, now that's racist.
Yeah.
In 100 years.
Probably. Oh no.
Yeah, it just boggles my mind to think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. The next thing of news, speaking of, I don't even know what it's speaking of, but like Elon Musk news, I guess. He started selling flamethrowers.
Oh yeah, I saw the tweet. That was amazing. It was like,
I've told the story to so many different people that like I don't even know how to say it anymore because of the progression in time. Like, hey, did you hear that joke Elon Musk is thinking about selling flamethrowers? And, hey, did you hear Elon Musk actually is selling flamethrowers?
Yeah.
Holy shit, Elon Musk sold out of flamethrowers.
At a reasonable price.
So for those of you who don't know, $500. $500 for a literal
3 foot.
3 to 5 foot flamethrower. So I'm going to drop some background here. So Elon Musk owns a company called The Boring Company. And the Boring Company, what they did prior to the flamethrower industry was essentially they dug holes. We're trying to eventually replace highways with underground travel systems. So then instead of having like your 5-lane highway, you have like a 5-level highway underground. Yeah. Because in theory, underground you can have way more roads than above ground.
Yeah.
Because of buildings and such.
Yeah, basically, you just gotta get rid of the dirt under there and then it works.
So I guess even though the company is called Boring Company, Elon Musk got bored of it and said, fuck it, we're selling flamethrowers now.
Yeah, it's like, I heard the joke is kind of like, basically aperture science is becoming a little bit more real as time goes by with Elon Musk. But in a good way, question mark?
Well, the thing is, like, he started selling flamethrowers for $500, and if you look at the videos of these things, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're not the old-fashioned Vietnam War, you got the giant backpack and the hose and the 30-foot flame.
Yes.
It literally looks like an actual gun. It's like, yeah, here's the 5-foot blue fire.
Yeah, it's like, with the press of a button, I can basically, like, create 500 degrees.
Like, it's insane. And, like, my thing of, who needs a flamethrower? You can't make a home defense argument. You're gonna burn your house down.
Yeah.
Like, you can't make a hunting argument. You're gonna burn the forest down. You can't even, like, make the, like, well, if I need fire, I'll light birthday candles with it. No, you'll burn the entire house down.
And you.
What is the point of having a flamethrower? You're going to cause mass chaos.
To make YouTube videos with it?
To quote, I don't even remember what show, but there was a show I watched where there was essentially like someone was creating like a company to make like this weird shit, and so it eventually spiraled into let's make Mars into a rocket ship. And someone's like, why would you make Mars into a rocket ship? And so to answer your question, because it's cool.
I'm like, and the great thing is, Elon Musk really is like Tony Stark because of how he's responding to this. Like, he put out tweets saying, hey, flamethrowers are very unsafe, and I advise you not to buy it. Unless you like fun.
Unless you
like
fun.
Those were legitimate tweets by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And things like, there's some countries saying, You cannot sell flamethrowers in our country. I'm sorry. So then on the website, he changed it to Boring Company's not a flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower. God.
Like, and then there's things like, oh my god, he made a video of him literally playing with a flamethrower in his office.
In his office?
Or office building of, like, that hallway area, like, right outside of his office. And literally there's the point where he charged the cameraman at it, like, he went, ha ha, nope, don't worry, I'm not gonna burn you. Just kidding, just a prank, bro.
What if these, like, he makes fireproof flamethrowers? That would be the most Elon Musk thing he could possibly do.
But, like, thinking about, like, and I don't think the same gun rules apply to a flamethrower. So, like, could you be 12 and get, like, I want a flamethrower for Christmas? Oh, thanks, mommy. As far as I know, you don't need a license for an Elon Musk flamethrower. There's no age restriction on an Elon Musk flamethrower.
You can buy...
Susie down the street could have a flamethrower for all I know.
Like, for $500, you can buy an Elon Musk flamethrower. You don't have to be any age.
Prior to this, the only thing I knew is flamethrowers were illegal at a certain distance.
Yeah.
Which is why this one's only 3 to 5 feet. Typically, flamethrowers can go like 10 to 30.
Yeah. So...
But, like, you could do a lot to someone in 5 foot of flame.
Yeah, like, it's still a flamethrower that shoots out, like, burning, like, amounts of heat.
Like, all I have to do is... Imagine someone holding up, like, a bank or a convenience store with a flamethrower.
Yeah, that's, like, what the... Yeah, that's also kind of something else, too. It's just, like... I thought you were working on that Underground Railroad. Why don't you just, like, put the money for that into that?
Well, I'm guessing this is to get money to do that. Would be my guess.
Elon... That's actually genius. Elon Musk knows completely insane people, and so, like, he'll get all the money from that, recall all the flamethrowers, and use the money to make underground, like, railway systems or car, like,
And
roads.
the crazy thing is, he sold out of over 20,000 flamethrowers. There are going to be 20,000 people in this world who now just have flamethrowers.
Yeah, just because, like, they wanted it.
Can we talk about how much of a problem this is going to be? You're going to see, like, Chicago or New York, the police department go, huh, house burned down last night. That's weird. Oh, another house burned down last night. This person burned to death. How weird is all this? I think we have a fire killer on our list. Oh, no, sorry, just 50 of our citizens bought a flamethrower. My bad.
Like maybe Elon Musk was on, like an alcohol binge for, like, the entire week and was like, yeah, let's give him flamethrowers. It'll be great. It'll make so much money. And I mean, he was right, but, and then, like, was like, everyone's like, dude, why are you doing this? And it's like, because it's fun. And I feel like he's gonna wake up either, like, today or tomorrow and just be like, oh shit.
Another hilarious thing is, do you want to know what the Boring Company added to their store after they sold out of flamethrowers?
What?
Boring Company brand fire extinguishers.
See, it's brilliant.
He's creating his own supply and demand.
Yes, he is. He knows the company better than anybody.
Like, this whole situation is ridiculous. Like, what is 2018 even?
Yeah.
Our next story is gonna blow even more minds with how technology is stupid, and 2018 is gonna be the year the world ends. But
yeah, at least it'll be with flamethrowers.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Knows?
So is that all we have to talk about for Elon Musk?
I guess so. I don't think of anything else that happened with him.
Well,
So
the final thing we have to talk about in terms of on the world. Are you gonna head out?
yeah, that's
Okay. I'll let you head out here, and then we're gonna talk about one more story here.
One last thing.
Luke, go ahead and scoot over to where he was.
Okay. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm in the frame more.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Alright, actually, we probably don't really need to even... I'll just the webcam slightly, but we don't need to adjust it a whole lot, actually.
Sweet. Elon Musk brand flamethrowers. The future is now.
Well, the future really is now after the story I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
So, this is, like, literally out of an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
This story here. So, are you aware of what deepfakes is?
Deep what?
Deepfakes.
I have no clue what that is.
So, it's something that has come out of Reddit fairly recently that I still don't entirely understand the technology behind it. It blows my mind, but not in a good way, in like a terrifying way.
Oh.
So there's this algorithm called deepfakes, where basically, imagine, like, social media right now is crazy. Everybody's there's millions of selfies out there.
Yeah.
Billions of selfies out there. What this algorithm can do is you give them a name, goes on all their social media, and basically constructs their face in various angles, various poses, various lighting, and then adds that face onto different pornos. So basically, there is fake porn of a bunch of celebrities going around right now that literally looks identical to them, but it's not them. It's from all their social media accounts, and it's basically taken their faces and it's created a 3D version of that face.
Like a rotoscope.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's actually bad.
Yeah,
Like,
and the thing that has me totally
ugh. Wow.
upset about this is the conversation of revenge porn.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you could
oh,
type
God.
in your
oh, no.
ex's social media and create a fake porn of them and send it to your friends, like, here's our sex tape or something, like,
Yeah,
you could
like-
destroy someone's reputation with
Yeah, like their entire career and livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, someone had to make a fucking
And
porn
'cause
generators.
It really is their face. It looks... There are some that it glitches out on. Like, I saw a face cap just to see what the face looks like. And there are some where you see the face just totally dissolve and go to a random picture, but then it catches up again. Like, so there's some that are clearly fake. But then there are others that apparently are literally, like, if you didn't know it was a fake, you'd go, no, that's 100% real. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just like, that's advanced technology, but also, why would you ever do that?
Yeah, so...
That's not good, dude.
So this story has dropped. Apparently, it's been a thing for a while, but it's been very underground Reddit until recently.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, like, the reaction has been crazy to it. In a good way, luckily. Reddit shut down the page that had the link to it and all that. But people were, at the time, on Reddit sending in requests like, do one of this person, do one of this person, and the person who owns the algorithm just made it for them.
Yeah.
I still think the app is available, which is horrible. But there is even an app for it where you type it, give them like a link to someone's social media, and it does it by itself.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of illegal. I feel
Oh.
like there is...
The illegal part, because some people say it's part of your First Amendment right to free speech, which is bullshit, by the way, because while you have the right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, there are certain things that are not protected, and porn is one of the things not protected under the First Amendment.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
Because it classifies as, I forget the word, it's because it's a big word. I'm at like a kindergarten reading level right now, but like, it
Basically just...
obscenity.
Obscenity, yeah.
It counts as obscenity, which is not protected under the First Amendment. So, A, you're wrong on that ground. And B, the other thing that it violates is the right to people's consent.
Yeah.
Because I'm not giving you the consent to see me even in what is a fake sexual right. Like,
yeah, that's
I'm not giving you the right to use my face, especially under those grounds.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why, and this is the big one, Pornhub has made a statement saying that if they find any deep fakes, they're no longer allowed on Pornhub.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
good for you, thank you, Pornhub. But apparently there have been people to say, oh, that's great, let me double check that. They literally type in deep fakes, and you still see the list
Yeah.
of actual deep fakes videos. So
Yeah.
I want to
just
give
like-
them benefit of the doubt of this is something that takes time, almost similar to what YouTube's doing of having to rework the algorithm.
Yeah.
But, like, this is something that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people like Twitter is another group that jumped on it saying deepfakes are banned. They are not in our terms of service. If you post a deepfake, we're going to remove it on the spot. But like, I feel like we all need to unite to stop this, because otherwise, imagine what is going to become when this technology progresses even further.
Yeah, like it can only go further from here. Like
Yeah, so like I'm terrified of the revenge porn aspect of you being able to type in your ex's name.
and just so easily too. Like
Yeah,
just
'cause, like,
this person, boom, here.
I
here's
saw
a
the
porno.
screenshot of the app, and it's literally type something into this box and then hit enter.
Yeah.
Like,
it's,
the algorithm does it all.
yeah, it's
Like,
just
that's terrifying.
like, oh my fucking god.
Like, and again, I know I've said this before, but this is like Black Mirror level shit.
It is. That is like something like, I feel like Black Mirror writers are looking at this like, I kind of wish we had this idea, but also, oh, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Also, find it funny to have Pornhub be the moral high ground in this situation. But then again, aren't they like the people who said that will plant a tree for every 100 videos watched?
They're surprisingly, like, you
Cool.
wouldn't think of it, but, like, they're surprisingly, I don't know what the word is for that, but, like, kind-hearted?
Moral people, I guess.
Moral, like, again, that's such a weird thing to say about Pornhub. That Pornhub is surprisingly moral, but, like, it's apparently true.
I mean, I guess it is a website about being okay about your body, so yeah. Who knows?
But, like, we'll have to see what time says about the story, whether Pornhub is actually telling the truth and they're going to start doing a mass wipe of any deepfakes, or if this is going to be the new norm.
Yeah, if this is just like, it's like people are just going to be awful and be like, yeah, let's keep doing this.
Because not in a porn light, but this is something that I've been thinking about for a while of what the history of film is. I always thought film one day will be, you have an actor walk into a room, you get a 360 view of them, have them say different consonants and vowels, and then you just have the algorithm make the movie with them.
Yeah, like, basically, like...
They can say whatever the director wants them to, they can do whatever the director wants them to, and it's basically animation, but with the 360 view of real people.
Essentially, all films will become LA Noire, except without the having to record lines.
Like, but this is the version of that technology that terrifies me.
Yeah, that aspect of just being able to do that is just, like... Yeah. Yeah.
Like, this is, like... technology in this episode of the J4U podcast. We got a lot of good things like SpaceX and a lot of bad things like deepfakes and flamethrowers on the public scene.
Yeah. Has there been any reports about flamethrowers causing damage?
I don't think they've shipped yet.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just pre-orders.
So we don't even know yet?
No.
Shit.
It would just be randomly, like, sometime over the summer we'll hear reports of forest fires, and then we'll go, oh, they shipped.
Yeah, like I'll wake up one morning, look up at a news article, it's like, the entire world is fucking burning, and I'll be like, oh, sweet, the flamethrowers finally shipped. Cool,
And
guys.
Elon Musk's brand new team of firefighters is really going to work on it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're actually pretty well handled. It's almost like they knew this was going to happen in the first place.
Could you imagine that? Like, the equivalent of private militias is like private firefighters funded by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like, we're creating problems, but also the solution so we can make more money. Make money on both.
I mean, basically capitalism in a nutshell, yeah.
Like, God, 2018.
It's been a month. It's not even been 2 months.
Like, that's all the stories that we've covered, from Logan Paul to this.
To creating generations of, like, people's faces for porn.
I thought 2017 was something. But 2018 is, oh my god, somehow gonna be even crazier.
Yeah, like, 2017 was like, oh, this is bad or whatever, and this one is just like, I don't even know what to think about anything.
I don't even know what reality is anymore.
Reality is a misconception. Everything is a lie. Everyone will die. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of a message to leave off on. Yeah, everyone dies.
Yeah,
Most likely by flamethrowers.
God, what has this year even become?
I don't know. But
well,
also, you know what I always say?
Hmm.
Always look on the bright side of life.
And on that note, thank you guys for watching this episode of the J4U podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with all your friends. And we'll see you when I get back from my trip, I guess.
And hopefully flamethrowers haven't shipped by then.
Oh, God.
Anyways, yeah.
Later, guys. Awkward black screen.